Good morning and welcome to Rovali's Daily Podcast. I had some technical difficulties this morning, so my apologies there. Let's see if I can make this big. I'm not sure why that's doing that, but hey, whatever. There we go. Oh, yeah, I'm having all kinds of fun today, you guys. Exit full screen. All right, well, welcome to Rovali's Daily Podcast. It is a beautiful day outside. I don't know what it's supposed to be as far as temperature-wise, but it's cold. It's really cold. Have a toast with me, won't you? Have a toast. As you can tell, I am in need of a haircut, okay? It's starting to get puffy and poofy, and I got to get a haircut, man. Anyway, we have a very special guest today. Two special guests, actually. We have Jenny Padilla and Jimmy Newquist, who represent Ogden X Media. And we're going to do a little bit behind the scenes of the Rovali's Ristorante video project that they did for us and talk about it because I want you guys to understand how the whole process works. It's really cool. And, just behind the scenes and to know how easy it is to produce something like that with a fantastic company like Ogden X Media, okay? But before we get to that, I am going to show you my features for today. We have some good stuff for you. And hold on one second and I will pull it up because it is good stuff. One second. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. All right. All right, you guys. So we have a brand new featured dish for you today. This is called the Grinch. My daughter named it. How appropriate. But it is not Grinchy, okay? It is really, really good. Very fun. We just wanted to tie it into the Christmas holiday coming up. But this is a brand new dish that my chef just came up with on Wednesday. And I test drove it, had it for lunch, and really is a spectacular dish. It has fresh prosciutto, steamed broccoli over a spinach fettuccine. And man, what a dish. I highly recommend that you try that tonight or today for lunch. It's really, really tasty. And we also have our Fettuccine Alfredo. Now, if you notice, I posted a review that somebody left us last night, a gentleman by the name of Matt, and he was so very kind, but he was talking about how creamy our Alfredo sauce is, and that is a really, really good sauce. And if you haven't had the chance to check out the review on Facebook, check it out. He was really nice. So thank you, Matt. And we also have pizza, whether you want to do curbside, takeout, or if you want to dine inside. Rovali says some of the best pizza you are going to taste anywhere. We have our pumpkin spice pie cakein, super delicious. That's one of our featured desserts. Ooh, look at this one, the mint chocolate chip. That's a really tasty one as well, one of my favorites. And a German chocolate cake. Now this one, so my number one, which we don't have this week, is the eclair pie, but my number two is this one, the German chocolate cake. That's my number two. Eggnog cake, just perfect for the season. And our grapefruit mojito is my cocktail for the evening. Oh, we also have the eggnog white Russian. Well, you don't want an egg white cocktail, do you? Who knows? It might be good. And we have the honey butter cake. That one is absolutely delicious. And don't forget, you guys, we are still selling, and they're going like hotcakes, our gift cards. They are the perfect gift for you guys to for stocking stuffers or to add to another gift like a purse. If you bought somebody a brand new purse and you stuck a couple of gift cards in there, wow, really? That's awesome. But the gift cards are great. And if you spend $25 or more, you get a flea. See, there you go. I'm going off the rails again, you guys. And it's because of my upcoming guests. I'm so excited for them. So I'm getting tongue-tied here, but I better have a drink. All right, so you can get a free slice of dessert, or you can get a gift card, or not a gift card, but a dessert card. If you don't want the dessert that day that you can come and get your card. So either way, you can come and get a free dessert card for every $25 or more on the gift cards that you purchase at Rovali's now through Christmas. All right. And, and don't forget, you guys, we are still selling whole cakes for your special party, and we're super excited about that. We've been getting a lot of orders on cakes, you guys. You get to take a Rovali's homemade cake home to your family or your special gathering for the holiday season, and you can go online to rovalis.com, click on the order online button, and at the very bottom of that menu list is the whole cake button. You click on that, it shows all of our cakes and gives you all the information about it, prices and all that kind of stuff. So there you go, guys. All right, we're going to stop the screen share now, and without further ado, I am going to bring in some good friends of mine. I hope they consider me a friend. I'm going to ask them to unmute. There we go. And then we're going to ask to start a video. And we'll see if this comes up. Hey, there we go.
Good morning.
All right. Glad to see you guys.
Good morning. Thanks for unmuting us.
That's dangerous.
I could almost hear the laughter back there, even with the mute on. I don't know if it was just my brain or what's going on.
This whole show is going downhill starting now.
Yeah. No, it isn't. It's getting ready to be lifted up. All right, you guys, I want to introduce to you a couple of very, very special people that I have been working with. And not only that, but even before, I want to tell you a little bit of the background of these folks, because this is how this whole thing kind of came around. And Jenny, I'm going to let you kind of tell them when we first started talking about your daughter and when you guys were dining at Rovali's, because you have to understand, these folks were already customers of Rovali's. Okay, so they were supporting local, and they're just so fun to have. Anyway, Jenny, take it away.
Absolutely. So Rovali's, of course, is a favorite restaurant of ours. We love the atmosphere. We love the food. When we want to unwind, but still be able to be kind of like in a work mode, but not in the office, we love going to Rovali's. So Jimmy just happens to be a music producer as well. He has fantastic background in that. So he was out here working with my daughter, producing an album for her, helping to co-write it and get it kind of off the ground. And we just happened to, hey guys, let's do a work meeting at Rovali's. We're all hungry. We've now had an 8-hour day already. Let's go get some dinner. So we stopped into the restaurant. And of course, Jimmy, being the amazing producer and supporter that he is, knowing that you do live music, as Alex was there talking to us about the specials and giving us his awesome joke, Jimmy just asked him, hey, what does it take to get a music artist, in here to perform? And he said, you asked us, what do you have in mind? Jimmy introduced my daughter. This is Courtney Padilla. She's an up-and-coming artist. She does fantastic work. You, being as amazing as you can be, totally put her on the spot, and I loved that. Totally loved that. Alex said, hey, sing me a couple of bars. And my daughter's like, what? But she did it. She performed for you, and I thought she did very well, and obviously you did too, because then we started our partnership, working with Courtney and getting her live music in your restaurant, which is amazing.
Yeah, and that's an amazing story. Now, Jimmy, I'd love you to kind of fill in the part that Jenny was talking about, and that is, your background in music and producing and that kind of stuff, because it all ties in to Ogden X Media and what you guys are doing there. So kind of give us a little bit information of your experience there and what you bring to the table.
Thank you. Well, good morning to you and everybody. So I've been coming to Ogden for roughly 2 decades. Actually, a little more than that. I think my first year here was 1995. I've never had the pleasure of living here, but I've worked here quite frequently. When Jenny and Warren opened up Ogden X Media, I was very interested in what they wanted to do with Ogden, because we love it out here. And so having given the venues here and the restaurants a lot of my attention over the years, they brought me to Rovali's, and we had a great work meeting, got to meet you. But we started putting together a concept for local Ogden businesses. And that is that the majority of business marketing now is going toward visual elements and motion visual elements, so videos. And at one of those meetings, we came up with a video business card concept. And the idea with it is instead of a flat ad in like a paper, or instead of just an online post, we wanted to provide a little bit of cinema to the advertising and the marketing. My background is with the Disney Studio and Universal Studios. I went to film school. So to be out here and work in this environment is really kind of neat. But it also gives us an opportunity to add a cinematic flair to any of the marketing that we do to any of our venues.
All right. Well, and so all this ties together too in such a way, because when we were working with you guys and Courtney, and she performed on the patio, it was pretty cool because you brought your video equipment. You wanted to capture, her in concert, and I was just so enamored by the technical aspect. I love that. I minored in broadcasting, so that was like kind of in my wheelhouse, but I was just like rubbing my hands like this over the camera and your tripods, and I was getting all excited about it. And that kind of furthered the conversation when Jenny, you came and talked to me, about possibly producing something for Rovali's. And if you guys watch my podcast, you know that I tell all of our friends and family at Rovali's that you have to support local businesses. You gotta support each other, and that's what makes the Ogden community so great. Now, the idea that you guys talked about of wanting to help promote Ogden and to bring it into more visual projects and different things, but your overall passion was to elevate Ogden. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. So I think it's interesting when you talk about supporting local Ogden businesses. We wanted to bring a Hollywood competitive tier to Ogden. And so we were able to open Ogden X Media, which is a studio here. We have a full sound stage, full editing facility, full audio making facility. And many of our clients are nationwide and worldwide. So when we decided to have all these dinner meetings and putting the studio together, we were going to Rovali's. And you have such a great venue there at Rovali's. It's got such great atmosphere. It immediately kind of started firing the creativity. And I think even your background in broadcasting, certainly my background and Jenny's background, but it doesn't really need to be geared toward that, right? We could be selling flowers. We could have never been on camera before. Ogden X can help you and kind of pattern you to make it look really, really professional, and at a price point that's unbeatable. So it's great to bring a really big city studio and a big city soundstage to Ogden, because I think it's time. Ogden is growing and marketing's going video.
Well, and I think now is the perfect time, because with the COVID going on and people getting nervous, one thing that I've learned many years ago, and that is you don't sacrifice your marketing budget when things get slow. A lot of people tend to cut that first because it's hard to see the return on investment sometimes, and so you think, well, I can let that go, but that's the last thing that you want to let go. In fact, one of the hardest things to do is maybe increase it a little bit, even when things are slow, because with the social platforms we have and the video format that you guys put together, you can put it on so many different platforms. You really get your bang for your buck, And so that's what's, and I wanted to take our viewers today a little bit behind the scenes, because I just thought it was so cool. And Jenny, when you approached me about doing this project, I'm not quoting prices or anything like that, because everybody is different. Whatever. Absolutely. you guys are totally customizable. So kind of tell our viewers about the customized and how you guys work with, whether it's a small business, large business, that kind of a thing.
I think you hit a huge kind of topic, which is customizable. We do have, like Jimmy was saying, we have the big city capability, we have the Hollywood capability, but you don't have to have that type of budget. And that's specifically, our business model is speaking to the small business owner. We understand that not everybody has $10,000 to spend on an amazing video. But guess what? With all of the social media platforms that are available, websites, email, all the different ways that you can get the marketing out there, you don't have to have a huge budget. It doesn't have to be a Hollywood, price point. And so regardless of what the budget is, we can make something amazing. If you have a $500 budget and all you need is just 3 amazing things to stick on, social media, just to do a quick little social media blast, awesome. If you want to go, full blown and do everything and have all of the different technicalities and everything that goes behind the scenes, and you have a bigger budget, we can help you with that too. But our main goal was to really be accessible to the small business owner that does get nervous about, hey, I'm going to give you this money and is it really going to work? Well, guess what? 87% of all marketing right now is done through video, through social media and online. So if you're going to spend your budget anywhere, it should be on video, because that's how consumers are currently wanting to get their content.
Yeah, and with the high-speed internet, and that's almost a no-brainer at this point. But
right.
you can watch high-def videos, and I do want to talk a little bit about our particular project, because the way that you guys put this thing together, I'm still impressed. Okay, and I haven't even premiered it yet, but we're going to. Jimmy, you kind of came to me with a different concept of it was cool. Okay, I'm gonna start this off, and then you guys jump in whenever, okay? Because we're just conversing here. But I had a lot of concerns, and I'm sure small business people all around, Ogden area have a lot of concerns about money, about keeping things tight, making it work.
Absolutely.
Is it worth the investment? And I have those concerns too. And you guys, I laid it out to you. And one thing about Ogden X Media, you guys, is they listen. They take the time to understand what the project is. And keep in mind, this is key for Ogden X Media in particular, and that is that they want to do business, and they want to create, and they want to do all these things, but the underlying foundation from my perspective, you guys, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is the love for Ogden and the idea of elevating, and like you said, Jimmy, making Ogden scene. Give me a little bit about that.
I think for me, I have I'm able to have a more romantic notion for Ogden specifically, and there's a couple of reasons for that. My background in touring music, I'm a huge big band 1930s and 40s music fan. Ogden and the Junction City, considering especially the Berthana venue, hosted many of these big bands. I was honored, to be given a private tour of that venue. It just meant a lot to me. So I have a really romantic notion of kind of the Junction City and what Ogden was. So when I finally got to come through here and apply my music trade, and we had some success, that was really kind of neat for me. And I got to spend a lot of time in the city. When it came to calling the company Ogden X, I thought that was very fortuitous, and really putting another spike in the ground. Like, there's no place but up that this city is going. We want to provide a modern touch for marketing. We want to provide a little bit of creativity, but also I think it's about the personality. And so my first project with Ogden X and Moonlight was a high budget, full on video shoot with, flying people in and an audience and the whole thing. It was really so well done. And we did it in a very consolidated fashion. I was a client. So a year or two later, they asked me to come on board as creative director, and we began to consolidate and figure out how in such a timely manner we could talk to you on a Monday about the idea for your video business card. On Tuesday, we finalize the idea, right? Wednesday, we shoot it, and Thursday, you have an edited copy to approve. That's a pretty quick turnaround with such high profile equipment and high profile kind of concepts. So it was really entertaining, especially in your case, Alex, with Rovali's, because we'd already eaten there. We already loved it, So we kind of had our own spin on what it was, and then took your spin on it and said, how can we give an honest and yet awesome representation of this venue?
Well, go ahead, Jimmy.
I just want to say one thing kind of leading off of that sets us apart from other maybe companies, that makes us a little bit different, is We genuinely want to know what your business is. So if you're a skateboard company, guess what? I'm coming in with my son without you knowing who I am necessarily. I'm going to shop your store. I'm going to see what your products are. I want to know from a consumer standpoint kind of what your business is, because then when we go into the creative side of it, I can say, okay, as a consumer, this was my experience. We absolutely have to highlight how amazing it is that you guys have, red bearings in stock. Like, that's amazing for a skateboarding family. If you're a flower shop, I'm going to go in and I'm going to experience it from the customer perspective first, because I think that has to bleed through the product that we create for you.
And I think that's key, So, and you said something that's quite interesting, and that is, I kind of have a background, so I kind of knew what I want, and I do my marketing for Rovali's, so I'm on the creative side as well. But I did ask you also in one of our meetings, what if somebody doesn't know what they want, and I think what you just said, Jenny, is kind of alludes to that fact that if you don't know exactly what you want, or you're not the creative type of person, these guys are. And that's why they want to know what your business is, and that's why they go in and see, how it functions and what the flavor is, what the spirit is there, all that kind of stuff, so that they can come up with concepts because for us, we kind of bantered back and forth, and I'd like this, and Jimmy says, well, how about this? Or I thought about this. And it was really cool because in one of our meetings, he said, well, I thought about this new idea as I was driving in. I'm like, okay, let's hear it. And we were in Jenny's office, and you pitched it, and it was just like, it just took off, and it was very, very cool. And I do want to talk about a little bit about the actual process of what happened. So after we came up with some concepts and ideas and the kind of the general feel, then you guys set up the technical aspect, and kind of tell us about the technical aspect of how you envisioned it, and then what you had to set up to do that.
So we start with a storyboard process that's a very old Hollywood process. It's easy to get into that old Hollywood mode here at Ogden X Studios because the studio is patterned to be like a mini Warner Brothers set, many of the sets that I worked on in my career. So we start with a storyboard in our lobby, and we take the client kind of through what it is that we think we should be showing about their product. So you used the example of a skate shop. I use the example of a flower shop. So we go into kind of what that means to a consumer, what's going to draw people. And then kind of funny, I always go back to the kindergarten who, what, where, why, when, how thing. And just to make sure that we're answering all those questions in a really cinematic way. So we keep it simple, stupid, but we also have, some of the highest end gear and some of the highest end technicians that run that gear and are able to turn these projects around so quickly. So the idea is, you need to jump, as a business, you need to jump on the video train because that's where it's going. We're in Ogden, we're about Ogden, and we want to be partners with you to do this. We can customize the look and what people see, and most importantly, we can customize the budget. And Jenny makes miracles happen. So that's what we do.
And on that customization, not everybody necessarily has a storefront, right? Sometimes you're an online retailer and you have amazing things that you're doing, or you're a consultant of type, like you're a tax consultant, you're a financial advisor. You don't necessarily have a product, so you don't necessarily have a store that we can film in. That's where our studio really comes in handy, and the amazing things that we can create out of this building, even if you don't have an on-location site that we can go to.
So, and that's a good point, because you guys put me in this huge staging area that was black because of your vision of having a black background with me with this ugly mug in there, and and that was really cool. It was really fun to do. And I got to tell you guys, so they have somebody that works for them, and her name is Alex as well, and they put her opposite me in a chair, but she never appears on the video. Jimmy just said, okay, you need to look at her so that you're not going looking all over the place. And then I told them that I worked on Roger Rabbit, and that wasn't true at all. but just to do that and to make you comfortable, and so what if somebody, I'm okay on as far as feeling comfortable on video, but what if somebody that doesn't, they don't feel comfortable, they're shy, or they don't have any experience, or they don't want to be on video? How do you handle that?
From a creative standpoint, any face is a great face. And a lot of that has to do with the learned skill set of lighting and finding contours. And then certainly the director of photography on your project was Noah.
Yes.
He is very sensitive to how to shoot light. And I won't give away any of your, your Rovali's BBC, but we really wanted to create a character and bring the character out that we have seen on these Zoom episodes that we watched. And then mix that with the flavors and the spices of the great food that your restaurant serves, certainly that we have been patrons of. So it really is a great thing. Any face is a good face. If you don't like talking on camera, we can go ahead and provide maybe someone from London to do a voiceover for you and make it a little more worldly feel, or we can break it down and someone here can do it, and it just all turns out, whatever gets the final product to be A+ is what we're about.
And each product is absolutely individual, and it needs to be the personality of the client.
Absolutely.
So where you're very comfortable speaking about your product and what you do, you're absolutely right. There are some people that are like, I just want you to highlight what I do, but not necessarily have me be the talking head. And that's absolutely possible.
And that's cool, because I do like that that narration piece that you guys are talking about. So even if somebody doesn't want to be on camera, but they may have the voice and the passion to sell their product, like you said, not having a brick and mortar per se, but they can just simply do a voiceover, and then the video that you guys produce with that voiceover is going to be like seamless and beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I think we're confident that irregardless of how you would like to be involved, either on camera or off camera, what you're selling and what your business is about is not going to look any better than we can make it look, with the vast amount of experience, the gear, and the business know-how that we have to do it.
Well, now I just want to move quickly over to, so we did the soundstage shooting, and that was a heck of a lot of fun. I had a blast. But then we took Ogden X to Rovali's because they were doing some inside shooting, and just to watch the creative aspect as they were there. They had been there many times, obviously, but it was interesting because when I was watching them, looking at the inside of the restaurant, I was watching more of them, not what they were watching. And but because I'm very interested in the creative process, but I could just see like the wheels turning of angles and all these different things that just made a beautiful product, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great to go to your venue too, because we can do these types of video shoots without disrupting your business. So we asked you when would be a good time, maybe a lighter time at the restaurant that we could come in. Our goal is to not impede your business. We want it to be a very benign and fun process for you. And depending on what you want, and any budget can work, we went in, and we really like to do it in small squads, get it done, and then present something, rather quickly.
Yeah, and as we wrap this up, I do want to say that the professionalism of Ogden X Media, there is, because we're friends, but also there's a level of, okay, but we have to take care of this because we have a job to do. Because I could have went on forever with you guys,
Well, that's great. That's good to hear.
All day long, but it was pretty cool because of the professionalism that you guys bring, because you, like you said, Jimmy, earlier on, that you have this time frame of when you shoot, when you edit, and when you produce the finished product. And it's very, very quick. I mean, I don't think I've ever worked with a company as fast as yours. And was I pleased with the product? 100%. Well, we're going to go a few notches above 100%, because I was just like almost flabbergasted at how quickly it turned around. And I had these guys make a couple of changes. They said, okay, are you happy with this? Are you happy with that? Well, can we do this, and this? And yeah, give us a day. And then all of a sudden, bang, 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 those changes were there, and I was happy. And so you guys even work on that process to make sure that your client is happy and pleased with the product, and they know that, and that it's going to work for them.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Being able to fulfill that need for our client is absolutely the number one priority. And the editing process is probably not the most important, but when you get down to the wire, it turns out to be the most important, because satisfaction is number one. And even though we've gone through the storyboard process and we've got client buy-in the whole way through, until you see that final product and understand like how it all comes full circle, that's when it really happens. And there are going to be, little things that need to be tweaked based on the personality of the clients. That's absolutely a part of the process.
Yep. Well, I want you guys to know that I am 100% happy with the product, with the finished product. I enjoyed the creative process. And I would like to tell those people that are out there, even if you have a home business, if you're doing, I know a lady that sells these beautiful quilts, and she makes them at home, and to have something that you can post on social media platforms. In fact, not too long ago, Facebook just released a new business application thing and I haven't used it yet, but I just started reading about it last night, where you can post to Facebook and Instagram and do all your creatives like right there, and post it out to both immediately, and that's pretty cool. But there's a lot of interesting tools that are coming about to make it so that, especially in COVID, if you can't get out to do the stuff that you want to do, what better way than to get it on your phone and look at this cool little ad that there's a lady that comes to mind right now. She has a company. I just did a podcast on her, Genuine Minerals, and she'd be like perfect for what you guys are doing and what you guys have to offer. But she'd be a good one too. And I'm not committing you. I know you're watching, because I know she's watching, but I'm not committing you. I'm just thinking out loud, and that would just, it's those kinds of businesses that make it make you appear, I don't want to say bigger, but a bigger presence, I should say.
Absolutely.
And, I on that topic, Alex, it's interesting to me too. I think that one of those old sayings, the wise man doesn't know the answer, the wise man knows where to go to get the answers, right? For me, a lot of that do-it-yourself, audio and video, those opportunities that are coming about with social media. So some of those, are you still alive?
Yes.
Are you hurt? But some of those are really cool to practice on. I think for me, especially as a creative, in my life, I once or twice have spent way too many hours trying to do something that maybe someone else was a little more qualified to do. But I really wanted my character and my vision for whatever project it was to come across. That made me very sensitive to business owners who have, I have a large budget, I have a small budget. I really, really want my wares represented in this way. We want to apply our trade in our 30 years in the industry to say, this is great. What do you think about this? Because this is a really attractive thing that'll get people to come and notice you, and people will be talking after this. That, in my opinion, is where the real find is, the real gem of the whole project. So we're pleased that you're pleased with your VBC. Certainly, we had a blast making it, and we're very proud of the edit.
And I do want to point one other thing out before we end this today, and that is whether it's a large budget, medium budget, or small budget, the quality does not suffer. You're not using a cheaper camera for the small budget things. You're using beautiful equipment. You're using the editing techniques. Everything is the same. So you're going to get, if you don't have as much to spend, but you're like, I'd like to get a little business video card, then you have the ability to know that you're going to have the quality that Ogden X Media, they're not going to come with their phone and make a little thing for you. They're going to they're going to do the real. They're going to do the real deal. And so, whether it's big or small, you get the same service, and that's what's really cool. You get the same service.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that for sure. Because at the end of the day, we're just people, and we go to shops. We do this thing, and at the end of the day, we want you to know that we genuinely do care about our customers. Of course, this is our business, but we wouldn't be in business if our clients didn't succeed, right? It would be a very short-lived, life cycle for us. We're just people, and we genuinely, truly want to help, small business owners get out there and really hit the market and soar to the skies.
All right. Well, Jenny, I would like you, after the podcast, if you wouldn't mind sending me very specific information that I can put in the description
Absolutely.
below, so that people can get in touch with you with the right clicks without too many. I don't like to do too many clicks. I like to click and know that I'm right where I need to be. So I don't want to send people just somewhere. Okay. Right. So you send me the specifics, phone numbers, all that kind of stuff. I will post it, and we'll go from here. But anyway, Jimmy at the very beginning mentioned the premiere. So my video is going to premiere tonight, and it's the first Friday Ogden Art Stroll, and we're going to do our premiere of the Ogden X Media collaboration with Rovali's Ristorante Italiano, and awesome. I'm excited for it. So yay!
Cool.
One other key thing, I almost forgot, you guys. So these guys, we have this commercial, we have this video, but then not only that, but then they throw in these clips of small bite-sized videos that are complete. Okay, they're not pieces, they're just complete, but I can use those wherever I want, whenever I want. If I want to highlight my cocktails, I got a little professional snippet that I can use. That's got a logo, it's got everything on. Man, come on, you guys. You guys are ridiculous.
That's an interesting thing that you bring up. I think for my background, any of the small cuts or any alternate cuts that you would make, say to a song or a video, that would always be an added on expense, right? I think our model has a little bit more longevity, certainly with the social media thing. And frankly, it's our way of making our clients happy, because we want the business. We want to be your marketing partner year in and year out. Yeah. So if you're able to get us a small or a large budget, and then we're able to provide you snippets that'll carry you through at the next quarter, we want to compete for that business.
Absolutely.
All right. I love it. Well, you guys, what a fantastic interview. Thank you so much for the insight, for the inner workings of Ogden X Media, and can't wait for the premiere tonight, you guys. Thank you once again for doing a great job. Thank you for being clients of ours. We appreciate you guys. We love having you when you come in. Tell Warren I said hi. Tell Courtney I said hi, and Noah. Absolutely. And the rest of the crew. All right, you guys, we are done.
Thank you very much for having us.
Ciao for now.